Hello, hello. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. How did Untearing go today? Wait, is it too early for that? Yeltermark, hey, Leap Year Girl. I finally did it. I got first. All right, the last day before Adam's vacation. He's going to take it somewhat easy today. It'll just be a half day. And he'll focus on, yeah, and he'll just make whatever progress he can. Some part of the day will be spent setting up riders some more. All right, let's do that. Too early for your volunteering to have happened today? Did you volunteer today? Taking it easy. Hey, Unite. Yeah, so my wife played the game last night and she loved it. She said it was great. She really liked the idea. She was surprised at how it looks after just 3 weeks of working on it. And then today I'm going to be showing it to a friend in the afternoon and we'll see how that goes. Hey, Pro, thanks for the sub. And hey, Illusionary Moon. Monday and Wednesday. Oh, I thought it was Fridays. Okay, my bad. Happy wife, happy game. That's what they say. So yeah, we're just going to tackle some of the stuff from the backlog. So let's just get started here, for example. When importing a looping MP3. So should we make an audio handling section here? Do I have anything about audio stream player? I have some stuff. Yeah, I have some stuff here in GD script. Okay, let's move this somewhere else. I'll go make another, what am I doing? I'll go make another folder or something, a note, new note, audio in Godot. Overview. This note talks about various sound/music advice for Godot. I don't think we really need that. All right, so playing sounds. Can we take this entire thing out of here? Yeah, probably. Happy day of work from Germany. We have a national holiday. Oh, nice. Yeah. Now, I was just thinking about this, not in terms of national holidays, but in terms of just when I've taken the last vacation that I have. I don't remember when it was exactly, but I worked really hard leading up to Skeleseller, and I don't observe a lot of national holidays myself in terms of time off of streaming. So it's going to be nice to just not have a lot of responsibilities. Yeah, and just sleep in, hopefully, recharge. I'm not feeling like burned out or anything. I do need some time off. Hey, David. Hope you have a nice time. Yeah, yeah. I think it'll be nice. I volunteered today, taking a man with intellectual and physical disabilities out for a walk. Can't really talk or communicate. Oh, nice. Yeah. Probably got confused with Leap Year Girl. Well, I remember Leap Year Girl volunteering on I think, slightly more frequent basis, at least. But yeah, for some reason I associated with Friday. Interesting. Okay, so I have this stuff here. This is fine. And now we need to go look at anything else I have about music. You're saying fade out music? I mean, this is not really music related exactly. Anything else? Sound. Nope. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I wanted to make something here about looping MP3s. Looping music. And I want to find out, does Godot have a way, Godot loop wave file loop start? I see. Gotcha. How would I enable loop for wave file? I know this is possible, but it didn't seem like it was possible to set it to a floating point number. It seems like it was limited to integers. Hey, Blub. Let me try this again. Do I have any changes, first of all? Just one to main, and it's just muting. Okay, yeah, so just delete this. Okay. So I want to go plug in a wave file. Let's just make a new scene altogether because this doesn't matter. Just close everything. make a new audio stream player, load in any wave file, doesn't matter. And then you can't set looping on this, it's got to be on the file itself. So I guess we go to hover O2 and click import. Yeah, so this is the problem. I don't understand why this is the case, but this is an integer. Why? Set in samples after the beginning of the audio file. Maybe this is supposed to give you the precision. But anyway, this doesn't have an advanced button either. I'm not totally sure how you're supposed to use this then. Wave loop begin int. 3 closed issues. Looping issues of wave files. Did they mention this? Does not seem to adhere to loop settings. I mean, this is from 2017. Yeah. I don't understand. Why would they not make this floating point? They also don't have the advanced import thing. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna write this here then. So wave files allow for looping. Although it's supposed to be able to read it from the file. I tried exporting this and I couldn't get it to read from the file. Detect from wave. Uses loop information from the wave metadata. Yeah, all right. But I couldn't easily get it to work when exporting a wave from FL Studio. Hold on a second though. I have that wave file still somewhere. Where is that? I wonder if I could load it up in Audacity and see some more information about where it thinks it's supposed to be looping. So it should be over here. Farm.wave. Yeah, open with Audacity. Does it know loop information here? I actually don't know. What if I just go to the end and hit play? It just stops. I wonder how you make it enable looping. Maybe that was it. The loop is only from here to here. Is there anything playing? Where is the audio coming from? Audio setup, playback. Oh, there we go. Okay. Got the awesome number right before the big vacation. How nice, Method. Happy 50 streams. I don't remember how the stream streaks work. If I don't stream for 2 weeks, do you all keep your streaks? Because that would be a shame if you don't. Yeah. All right. Wave files allow for looping. You can easily get it to work when exporting a wave from FL Studio, even though Godot is supposed to be able to detect looping from the wave itself. If it doesn't do that, then you can set the, what is this called? Loop begin. But it's only an integer. So I'm not sure how you're supposed to ensure your looping actually works. Only if we watch VODs or clips. Wow, okay, yeah. Also happy 7 days. Crazy. Okay, so MP3 files, on the other hand, not only support granular looping, but wait a second, can you change the loop begin over here? You could technically, right? So if I turn this on, re-import, no. Okay, so I guess waves are just in samples. So you need to figure out how many samples it is. So this integer thing doesn't actually matter, probably. Did my bot just send another notification? It did. I don't know why that happened. It probably crashed trying to do something. In the import section of the, yeah, of Godot. when selecting the file in the file system. It's only an integer since it's in samples. MP3 files, on the other hand, have an advanced editor for setting up looping. Man, I'm gonna go look at this because they have some, yeah, this importing audio. They have some reason to prefer something over the other. They only be imported in raw format. Lightweight to play back on the CPU. Downside is they take up a lot of disk space. MP3 use better compression. Hog for music, speech, and long sound effects. I wonder if I should convert everything. So OGG Vorbis files also have the advanced import? Okay. Yeah, they do. Okay. Hey, yo. So I'm going to take a picture of this. So let's say we have an MP3 file, and I'm going to make sure I revert all of this stuff. Just click advanced here. So I'll take a picture of that. Hey, Goose. Oh, that jump and shoot man is still there. It shouldn't be there. Also, should I do this so I can actually just see everything closer? Yeah. All right, let's annotate this. So you select this, then click import. Can I change where this little flag is? Nice. Then click advanced. Select your audio. Okay. So once in advanced, you just drag to a point and change the loop offset. The nice thing is that you can test looping right here in this editor by seeking to the end and pressing the play button. Hey, Sarah. Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, today's going to be a very chill day. I said the same thing on Wednesday, and it ended up being a full day where I was doing quite a lot. It was just kind of slow-paced work. Today is going to be a lot of miscellaneous stuff. Like right now, we're writing notes about how to handle audio in Godot. But then I want to set up Rider some more. There are a lot of notes I had on that. I did a bunch of random things yesterday. Let me show this. Let's close this. Don't save. Do this. Okay, so check this out. And this is where AI has been helping a lot because there's a lot of like little quality of life things or things that don't matter too much right now. So now in settings, we actually have a menu here. This is not great or anything, but like you can control the volume sliders with the controller. You can change this to full screen, for example, right through the game. And that's pretty nice. And then I added more cheats to the farming menu. So now I can change where we are in the game. So like, let's say I want to go right to the town. What just happened? Oh, it's just a breakpoint. Yeah, there, I'm in the town now. Ignore the breakpoint, that's something I set myself. It wasn't a crash or anything. And yeah, if I want to go faster, now I can walk twice the speed. If I want to speed up the entire scale of the game, I can walk super fast. Like, this is pretty nice to have those things there and not have to really work on coding them myself either. And it's like the cheat menu is something players don't even see. Just helps us with development. The settings menu is something they will eventually see, so we do need to clean that up. But until then, I was like, well, I want some way to maximize the game. I don't want to have to keep switching to the mouse. So yeah, I've been making a lot of progress. All right, I think this is good enough for now. All right, this is working just fine. This we still need to figure out at some point. But I want to do a lot of those rider tasks, I think. This is done. Players should have to go find the trash cans and throw strawberries in. They could hear a little jingle as they do that. Sidekick could pathfind behind them and stop within a particular distance of the player, since they would be excited to see this play out. Yeah, so this is the next big thing we need to do, which I don't know if we'll get to today, but like finish the farming game. Yeah. Yeah, have it remove the strawberry from your inventory. Have it remove the strawberry from your inventory. Change the trash can graphic so that there's a tiny strawberry in it. We could just scale down the sprite, but we should eventually have a new sprite. And make sure you can't put a strawberry in the same trash can multiple times. Oh, maybe one of the... Okay, here's something we could do, which I didn't think about until just now. We could give you your first puzzle, but it might not be easily solvable by a lot of people. So you got to be a little bit careful about this. But one of the things that the farming game lets you do is use your shovel anywhere. So you see these trash cans here right now. Eventually, they're not going to be right here. They might be around town. So like imagine you see one right there next to the house. So you go up here and you place a strawberry inside of it. Okay, cool, you're done. Now you got to go find two other ones. And one of them is, let's say, like fenced in somewhere. So let's go find a fake area for this to be. Let's speed up my movement speed. Oh yeah, let's say it's like down here somewhere. Like you can't get there, but you can use your, magical shovel to just shovel out whatever you want. And now all of a sudden you can get over to this. So I wonder if we make you do something like that to kind of show how this game is broken. I think that'd be a good idea. I don't want to make you walk around the entire town. But yeah. Hard to navigate directly in between these things. There we go. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Consider having the final trash can be fenced in and require that you shovel out the fence. This would also signal to the player that this was possible the whole time. We may want to allow the axe to work just for the fence as well, just in case that seems more natural for players. Okay. Yeah, use some throwing animation for that. Man, a lot of things I didn't get to. Oh well. Quick fix this so it creates a private variable. Yeah, I don't know if this is worth writing down. This is something I just noticed about using Rider. So let's say I'm making a new class somewhere. I don't know, let's say I have this and I'm like, okay, we need a ready function. So I do this and I'm like, okay, now we need to save off something here. We got to save off like button equals get node, whatever, something like that. This is the fastest way to write this. And then to get this variable to exist, you just quick fix it, create field, and then quick fix this and go down to suppress nullable warning. And there, that prevents me from having to type out all of these characters, which is, well, like 20 something characters probably. It's not something that I'll consult my notes to find out how to do, but it's just something that I think you should keep in mind when using this. Oh man, the bot just keeps restarting, huh? I gotta figure this out. I'm seeing this hello I am a bot over and over. Let me go take a quick look. I don't like ever messing with this thing. Up 19 seconds. Okay, so yeah, my container keeps crashing for some reason. Dash dash tail. Subscription already exists. Yeah, then it gets stuck in a reconnect loop. I was really enthusiastic about saying hello. Hey, Jaeger. Subscription. Do I have this in here? Too many requests? I also see these issues. Man, this has caused so many problems over the months. And I don't know what, I haven't ever figured out how to solve this for good. Well, I'm probably not going to look into it now. Maybe I'll just turn off the bots if that keeps happening this stream. Hey, Andre. Able to see resting, preventing burnout, doing proper self-care as productive or necessary tasks during vacation time, but also other times. I think I already see them as necessary to some extent. I think part of it is like, imagine you have some capacity to do productive things. And let's just say that this capacity is measured in a percentage. So you can be anywhere from 0% to 100%. You have some like normal operating capacity. And maybe for the average person, let's say it's like 60%. I don't know. If your normal is like 90% regularly, then it's hard to know when you've gone over it because you're frequently operating at a high capacity. So now you hit 95%, you're like, uh-oh, I burned out. I think that's what happens sometimes, where like I think everything's fine, and I don't realize until I've crossed that threshold that I'm like, oh, turns out everything is not fine. But yeah, I don't feel burned out right now or anything. And I'm also pretty excited to work on this. And I'm excited to share this with my friend later today too. So I'll show him the game and I'll get to see his reaction. Like I said, my wife really enjoyed the game. She was having a lot of fun. And she even said like, oh, the platformer section was fun. Like she liked the jokes. She liked the music. Let's call that capacity tokens. Yeah. And so for $20 a month, you get a certain number of tokens, right? Your capacity tokens. But if you upgrade to Human 2.0, you can double your capacity. Hey, Ench. No bias at all there. I think she'd be pretty honest about this stuff. But she is definitely biased. But I do at least like there are certain things you can't really fake, at least in terms of your reaction. And her reaction was pretty genuine for a lot of this. Now, there are other things that she didn't laugh at that I was hoping she'd laugh at. Like one of the things, I don't know if she even saw this. I didn't ask her about it. She probably like internally chuckled. But in the farming game, when you are here and you try going to bed, it says, oh, please, human, you just got up. The bed tries rolling its eyes, but it doesn't have any. She did not react to that at all. So, that was unfortunate. I thought it was funny. Theme the title screen. We're not gonna do that. Yeah, when facing upward and starting sidekick dialogue, you can't really see the strawberry. Pulling the strawberry when talking to sidekick should be delayed slightly. Yep, this is good polished stuff we should do. Okay. Hey, Magnus. Hard for me to imagine someone being so productive as my energy levels tend to be low and easily go haywire. Maybe that's why, to me, I get worried about people who seem to just keep going. Yeah, and this is where I was saying I think it's based on each person's norm. So if you're normally operating at like 5%, then yeah, going to 8% might be too much. Or maybe it's going to 20% for a long enough amount of time or something. But yeah, for the people who are doing a lot to begin with, it's harder to know when is that too much. But I think I have some signs at least, and I've been trying to keep track of some of this stuff. So like with Skelecellar's launch, for example, I was working a ton. It was hard work. It was boring work sometimes. Like they're not mutually exclusive really. It could be hard and boring work. and it was kind of just nonstop. But yeah, with Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, there's no real pressure. Like even this checkpoint one, I feel a little bit guilty about because the goal was have it ready today. And I did a playtest yesterday and I'll do one today. But it's not really ready the way I was envisioning. We still have a lot left to do. It'll probably take another like 3 full days of work to just wrap up these games. And then we might not do it that way though. I might just move on to the next thing anyway. Because I don't want this project to be a slog in several different ways. I don't want to save all the polish for the end, and I also don't want to kind of get stuck on maybe like bad or boring tasks for too long here. So we'll just try to spread them out. If I have an allocation of 20 tokens per week, I can do 30 tokens for a couple weeks. After that, it's down to 0. Yeah. I think there are times you can stretch yourself, and those times just can't be for too long. Like you can do crunch time for a day. It's probably not gonna cause any major damage, but you can't do crunch time for 2 years. Okay, my bot just keeps restarting. I wonder if this is one of the stupid things I'm gonna have to look into today. I really, really don't want to do this. Failed to subscribe, not connected, doesn't have a session ID. Yeah, it's giving me this error now. All right, let's go look into this. Fine. Socket is not connected or does not have a session ID yet. GitHub, what is this thing called? Twerple? Event sub? Is it in here? I should maybe just try updating this. Yeah, this is from 2023. Well, there are new releases. Maybe I'll just update this now. Hey, thanks, Smurf. I hope you're doing well. Latest release was on December 3rd, 2025. Do I have this? GitHub. Wait, what am I doing? I can just click this. Habit. When did I get this? Packages, bots, package. Purple. 721. Okay, no, I do not have the newest version. But this has breaking changes, right? What are the breaking changes? Change minimum supported node version to 20. What am I on? What am I on? Oh no. Let's go find out. Code, Abbott. There's a Docker file for each individual package, right? So I got to go into here, bots. Yeah, cat Docker file. Please be on 20. Please be on 20. 18. No. No. Really don't want to deal with this. I mean, maybe we could just update to 20, but it's probably not going to be that simple. How about I just turn off the image for a second? Docker ps-a. Docker stop 42ae. Yeah, so now the bot won't work anymore. So as soon as this is done, now if I type today, it should fail, right? Yeah. That's too bad. Fix it after vacation. Yeah. Probably. So Twerple has a new version, but it requires updating node. Each package runs in its own Docker container. So we could just update node to 20 for the bots image. Can't look at wrong or it's toast. Hey, why not? Yeah, this honestly, the bot itself is okay. It's this stuff that keeps failing. I don't know if it's my issue or not. It says right here though, this is not connected, doesn't have a session ID. This should never happen. So like this does lead me to believe it's not a problem in my code. Anyway, what else did I have? Removed CommonJS dual build. Your environment now needs to provide a global fetch implementation. Okay, that's fine. Remove package. Update to express 5 types. Rename this to announcement color. Or not override the user. I don't think I even use that. Add null to gifter property types. That shouldn't matter. Remove mock server port. Introduce chat message drop error. Hey, T2. Thank you for the raid. Do you stream at like all different times? Because I raided you yesterday at, I guess it was like noon or something. Yeah. Welcome in, everyone. I am working on a game, although yesterday I was just doing music stuff. But I'm working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And I've only been coding this for about 3 weeks now, so it's very rough around the edges. So this is what our title screen looks like. In fact, let me go into this and I will show you the game a little bit. All right, here we go. A lot of Linux maintenance to do. I see, so just when time demands it. So yeah, here's a quick overview of the game. So it's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. You start, you're in a tutorial. Press A to jump, everything's pretty normal. By the way, my wife struggled here last night. She was trying to jump like this, and she couldn't understand how to get higher up. So you need to like press to the top of your jump. So I probably need to change this a little bit. Anyway, get over here, press R in the air, you can dash. So you work your way over to this part. And yeah, my wife saw this yesterday. She's like, oh, try to collect the diamonds in one go. And she's like, I don't know if I can do this. And then she did actually make it to like roughly there. And then yeah, you fall through the world. So this is the first experience of being in a broken tutorial, which is that now you're in a totally different world. And you get over here. I'll stop demoing this in about 20 seconds. And you wake up in a totally different game. And that's the intro to Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. Had the cave song stuck in my head for all of it. Yeah, my wife heard that and she's like, wow, this is really good. So yeah, for those who didn't hear, my wife is the only person to playtest this game so far, and it was yesterday. And there will be the second playtester today. Then I'll be on vacation for like 2 weeks. But then when I get back, I think we'll finish up the farming game, and then probably do a couple more playtests and just see what people are saying, and then start doing some stabilization, and then probably work on new sub games. So I've been hankering to work on a space shooter kind of game, and I've got an idea, but I also want to just make some like just general fun games within this. So yeah. So this all looks fine. We'll do that later. What else do we have here? Make sure I can publish a Windows build. I got to still do this as prep for playtest. Export and upload a new Windows build. Maybe ask someone to test it and write out my like intro notes to people playtesting. So like, this is still rough around the edges. Think aloud as you play. Play how you normally would. Be honest. What are the things I tell people? Bunch of fun new ideas. Yeah, actually, I had a funny idea the other day, which is there could be a SQL injection character. Where is it? Ideas. Here it is. Yeah, so jokes. Hey, lovely weather where drop table users. And it's just typing out a bunch of like random text. Like, it's an agent who's broken out of games before and is trying to break out of these. I don't know how many people would get it because this is not necessarily targeted at tech users, but I do think it'd be funny. And yeah, I think we can do something interesting with Discord rich presence. Like, you can have it say like Adam is on level 2 of whatever, but you could also say like Adam is sending chickens to attack an adventurer. Hey, Bucheros, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, welcome in. How'd the stream go? And yeah, Leap Your Girl probably at some point. Also, did you buy a new laptop? Name Bobby Tables for the extra reference? Yeah, I was debating on that. Could name this character Bobby Tables. Yeah. Yeah, howdy everyone. Give a shout out to Bucheros as well. Hope it was good. Hope it was good. We are doing some very laid back things today. And I don't even have my bot running right now, so I can't even use the today command. And I can't go to the... Oh, I can go to this still. Yeah, so this. It's the last day before my vacation. I'm going to take it somewhat easy today. So yeah, I'll probably just be streaming for the next like maybe 2-3 hours. Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I see. I didn't know if this was due to the video card things, which I don't. If you haven't had an issue with something that's not Skeleseller, then it's probably not worth changing. But yeah, you didn't anyway. All right, so make a single tile set for every part of the farming game to use. Change how watering a tile assumes this. Manifest sounds there. Yeah, this is general work we can do. Yeah, I do kind of just want to prune down this list. So I think I have some like post-vacation stuff. Where is it? Pursue this game. Here it is. Cut down on the list here. I never finished the farming game and really should take the time to do so. Hey, Phil. Change sidekick animation where they just slide out of the house. Yeah, this part was unfinished. I think it's going to be obvious enough. I got to fix that, so I don't need to write that down. All right, rider stuff. I want to finish configuring this IDE because I have all of these notes now. And every time I run into this stuff, it frustrates me that I haven't done this. Could do planning of sub games. All right, looking at this DM from Dark. Let me go take a look at that off screen. Notice that opening the project on Windows automatically changes the line endings on import files, and Rider just shows noise in the change list. Also look into sharing the settings, manage layers button in the bottom left of the settings. That way we can import any changes made to the settings that don't exist in editor config. Okay, let's go change this. Line separator. It's in code style. Here, system dependent. Okay. Apply to new files. Can I have this change just when we go to check in? Wrap on typing. Hang on a second. Let's try that for a sec. Earlier on my stream, we had a discussion about PHP and if it's still a good first language for beginners. Are you open to share your thoughts on that topic? I have never used PHP for longer than like, I don't know, probably 5 hours of my life. Or maybe like, yeah, 5 to 10 hours. So I can't really comment on it too much. I think that my general advice for learning programming languages is in this blog post here. And one of the things that I say is I don't think it matters what you learn first. I think what matters at first is, are you learning something and are you enjoying it? And potentially, are you productive with it? So whether it's Python, assembly, C, PHP, JavaScript, I don't think any of these matter which one you learn first. Now, what you use for a career, what you use for a project might matter, but for learning, like, yeah, you could start with JavaScript. You can learn the basics of like, do I enjoy writing if statements and functions and for loops and it won't be any different really from if you're using PHP, for example. And then, like I said, once you get to a project, then it could be different. That might change things. Yeah, sorry, the bot is down, so we have to use the website for now. Here's the today command that we have. But hey, Atomic, hey, retired Android, and hey, random human. Is it mostly the same thing? Yeah. Yeah. And then about the quality of PHP, all I've heard is that it's gone up over the years. So I don't know what that means. Laravel was apparently great at one point. Again, I haven't ever looked into that. I don't really use PHP. So does this now wrap comments for me as I'm typing them? So do we have any instance of a long comment that is not a doc comment? It's probably too hard to find one of these. I just make one. Yeah, there we go. This. Okay, so let's say I type this all out as one line. Oh, it wraps, but it doesn't wrap it as a comment. It wraps it with just a new line, right? This is a test of what would happen if I kept... Yeah, no, it doesn't work. Okay. Well, that's too bad. So let's turn that off. But yeah, what should I do here? Writer change line endings on commit. On Windows, there's some like I don't know, some Git thing that lets you do this. Change line separators per current file. So all of my files are presumably on Mac style, just new line, right? Would you even do this? Yeah, here. It's actually CRLF. We can do that in Git directly. Hey, stats. Let me see. Add custom cleanup that we can use on save. Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I should just do this on Git. Yeah, core.auto CRLF. Git config help. There's list. All right, so if I go over to here, git config -- list. Let me do this off screen just in case. CRLF. It's set to input. What does that mean? If you're programming on Windows and working with people who are not, or vice versa, you'll probably run into line ending issues. Yep. Great. Add a file to the index and vice versa when it checks out. You can turn on this functionality with this setting. If you're on Windows, set it to true. What are the other settings? Oh, input, here it is. I thought this was a different section. Okay, if you're on Linux or Mac, then you don't want Git to automatically convert them when you check out files. However, if a file with them accidentally gets introduced, you may want Git to fix it. You can tell Git to convert it to LF on commit, but not the other way around by setting it to input. So then this is already set correctly. Sound of Gaming, and thank you. Well, the subtitles are all running locally on my machine. So the delay is just due to it having to wait for me to say enough so they can figure out from context, like, should it use this word or this word? If it's at input, then it's correct. So wait, why did Dark say this then? Notice opening the project on Windows automatically changes line endings on import files. And Writer just shows noise. What are import files? Oh, those are the Godot ones, right? Import. Yeah, something like this. And the line endings here are being changed? Everything should just be checked into Git though, right? So I looked into this just now. How do you do, is it git config git? Yeah, git config git core.auto CRLF. Okay, I'll write this down. I'll just type it all out over here. This is in private. So I looked into this just now. Git has an auto CRLF setting that you can check in the SIABT repo. For me, at least, although possibly it should be this way for everyone, it's set to input. Which means it'll give you CRLF endings on checkouts, but LF endings in the repo. Which gives /r/n on checkout on Windows, but files will just have /n in the repo. I'll put a reference. This is what it should probably stay at. if rider is changing line endings, maybe we just keep it as new lines for this. Yeah, Appressel, the bot's not working right now. If they're on Windows, it should be set to true. So they should change it. Okay. When on Windows, I think you can just set this to true. But is this local? What is CLRF setting? So it's CRLF. CR stands for carriage return, which is a \R character, and LF stands for line feed, which is a new line character. Different operating systems use different conventions for how to say that there's a new line. So for example, if I type out hello world, this text is actually hello/n world. But on Windows, it's hello/r/n world. Because there are two different conventions, something needs to be done to make sure that we're on the same convention so that we don't just keep adding new line characters. Hey, Alex. Okay, so I think you can just set this to true. Is this local? Is git config local or like per user, per repo? Specific to each user. All right. Yeah. Then you shouldn't have to do anything in rider. All right, I'll just type this in for now. So let's go plug this in from, where did I put this? There it is. Hey, TCAP. Recently realized all my binary files have been broken on Git for 1 year plus because I accidentally treated them all as text. I'm sorry, that's very funny. I don't think I've checked in binary files to Git, at least not for Skeleseller. Also, TCAP, out of curiosity, have you been using any AI at all on your code? Because you and Cakes both make like mega files, right? I was wondering if AI, excuse me, struggles with that at all. All right, so this should just be done. Add snippet for a yarn story block. Have choices and stuff in there. Yeah, this would be nice. This should also be easy to do. A story block is just this. So what should we call this? Maybe like yarn block. Yeah, that's probably fine. I forgot how to do this though. Not any integrated. I sometimes ask stuff. I see. Okay. Yeah. All right. How do you add snippets? They're not called snippets, are they? What are they called? Called something else. I made one of these, so I should be able to find it. If I just type GD ready. What is this thing called? That's the thing I'm wondering about. Code completion settings, quick definition, rider snippets, Scratch, live templates. That's what it's called, templates. Okay, I do not have notes on this, but it should be easy enough to set up. Template. One of these two, maybe this one. File templates. Do we have GD ready in here? No. Where live templates? Aha, you are probably over here somewhere, right? Yes, there you are. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is what we want to write down. Snippets. Well, maybe I should say live templates. So snippets from VS Code are called live templates in Rider. They let you type something like GD ready and have it turn into this. To add new ones, go to whatever this path is. Is there a way to copy a path to this? Oh, there is. Nice. Wow, look at that. Go to this. Nice. Hey, Magnetic Bind. Everything's not text like pings and stuff. Oh, I see. Wow. Yeah. I haven't had a problem with that. Yeah. Okay. So I want to add one for a yarn block that looks something like this, maybe. But I want to customize this a little bit. How do we add one here? Plus. No name. How do we give it a name? Shortcut, yarn block. Description, add a yarn dialogue block. Yarn spinner. All right, so there's ways to add in variables here. So title, and then speaker, text, choice, result. I don't want to type in all these things. So maybe, anyway, let's try that. Let's save this. So now we go to, oh wait, no, that's not going to work because that's in the wrong file type, right? I could bot. Yes. I'm planning on releasing a prototype. Not publicly, no. So hang on one sec. Excuse me. So yesterday I showed the game to my wife. She had not seen it. I had not been showing her anything, and she really, really liked it. Today I'm going to show it to another person. This will be off stream. And I just want to see, like, how are people reacting who haven't really been plugged into the game progress. But I think one of the things that's really tough about this, so I was kind of mentioning this before. Let's say you were making, it doesn't really matter what game. Let's say you're making, I don't know, Factorio or something. I would kind of argue that at like minute 5 versus minute 500 versus minute, 50,000, it's still the same general game. Yeah, the things you're focusing on might be of a different scope, or maybe you're optimizing better or something, but you could probably get a pretty good idea of plopping someone into almost any part of Factorio, assuming they knew how to play. Do they like the game? But with Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, I think there's a surprise factor. It is also a little bit story driven, and there are like wildly different sub games. So I think if I were to make a public playtest, that it would be really hard to tell, like, is it working? Are people liking it? So I want to keep things as private playtests for at least many months, probably. So many people hated it 5 minutes. Yeah. Well, whether or not you like the, I mean, it's probably a little bit overwhelming, but still, yeah, it's the same general like idea. Like Factorio doesn't turn into a cafe simulator or something at some point, but like my game probably will. And yeah, Factorio doesn't turn into a first-person shooter. It sounds difficult for market validation. Yeah, I think it will be a little bit tough, but I do want to stick with private tests for a little while at least. Because I think the problem with a public playtest is this game might not be very long. And that's one of the problems we ran into with Skeleseller. I mentioned this in that video I did on the Skeleseller Evolution, but the demo was supposed to be like 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay. And there are limits in terms of money and Wisdom Sludge, but there's no limit in terms of time. So some people spend 1 hour in the demo, and then later they buy the game, and they've just kind of taken 30 minutes off of the playtime of the full game. And then they say, wow, that game was really short. And it's like, well, the people who max the demo then feel like they got a shorter game. I almost think the demo might be hurting me in some way there. I would like to make a demo for Stuck in a Broken Tutorial as well, but I don't know what it would be exactly. Especially because if the game is only, let's say, 2 hours long in the end, be very tough to have a demo give you 10 of those minutes and then be like, yeah, this is going to be worthwhile. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. All right, let's close everything we have here. Go back to farm yarn, and then we should, this isn't going to work because I typed in the wrong thing, right? Yep. So this entire template needs to go into a different language. Other language. How do we, can we add template group? Yarn spinner. Can you customize the file type or something in here? Add live template, abbreviation, yarn block. And what was my description for this? Add a new whatever, and then delete this. And then put this over here somewhere. Is this going to try to get put everywhere? Define everywhere. How do we define this only for .yarn files? I don't know how you do that. Other? Applicable in other. So now does it work? Oh, yeah, now it works. Yeah, the problem is, what order did this just happen in? Why didn't I go to title first? Yarn block. Oh, no, it did. Okay, so we could do something like Testeroni, Atom, Hello World, option 1, handle option 1. Yeah, okay. Should be easy mode. Yeah, well, we talked about this before, and I do plan on ending on the whole, like, you go into a portal. My wife, when she played yesterday, spent exactly 15 minutes. And I would say that she was somewhat on the slow side there. So probably most people will complete it in like 8 to 12 minutes. I'm not sure. If I like a video enough, I buy the game myself. That's another risk I think we have for this game, which is, yeah, let's say the game ends up being, I don't know, 3 hours long or something like that. So now you watch a content creator play the game. Your experience is going to be largely the same as that content creator, which might mean that you don't go buy it. It's almost like if you watch someone watch a movie, which is not really possible, right? You'd just be watching the movie yourself. That's like, yeah, if you watched a movie at your friend's place, you'd have to really like it to go back to your place and then buy that movie and then watch it again, right? I'm kind of concerned about that. But it's not going to stop me from making the game. Sometimes you do things for art. All right, so this is working, but I'm guessing it's going to work in every single kind of file. So if I go into a .tscn file now, I can probably type yarn block. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that for now. I don't really care. If it bothers me later, then fine. If I had made it something like if, where I might type it into another file, then sure. But I never type the word yarn block. So I don't think it's going to matter. Now I can make this snippet a little better at least. As an example, we have jump result. We could say like, also I was going to jump to another label. So jump handle choice. I think that'll work. Wait, did I just delete? Yeah, I did delete this. Yeah, like that. So it should use that choice twice, right? Yarn block, test, test, test. Yeah, nice. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, cool. That's good enough. Just want to type that all the time. Horror games also suffer from the same thing. Do they do anything about, like, how do horror games handle it? Because I never thought about that. And I don't play horror games myself. Does anyone in chat like horror games and like watching content creators play horror games? Does anyone ever watch someone play a horror game and then go buy it for themselves? Like, do you only end up watching, 10% of the gameplay so that you don't spoil it? I don't know how many turn into sales. I think they do well, right? Had that feeling with the game until dawn. Watching people play it was fun, but I felt no desire to play it myself afterward. Yeah, and sometimes it's not a problem. Like, maybe it's not a genre that you enjoy, or maybe it's a game you had a passing interest in and you realized, okay, well, I enjoyed watching it more than I enjoyed playing it. I could imagine myself, I don't do this, but I could imagine myself watching a long form RPG and then skipping the parts where I'm not enjoying the gameplay. And if I were playing that game, I couldn't skip the gameplay. I'd have to play through it anyway, so I might just stop playing. What do you do? Still finish the game? I'm not sure. I would probably still finish the game. It all depends on what kind of signals I'm getting. If, let's say, I showed it to my wife yesterday and she was like, I don't know, Adam. I don't think this is it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's one opinion. Let's try it today now. So now I showed it to a friend today, and they're like, I don't know, Adam. This isn't it. If I hear that from enough people, yeah, I might be like, all right, we got to change things. But I'm pretty much convinced this is going to be a fun game. I think marketing is still difficult, even if it's a fun game. Yeah. Yeah, I see Maniac Pine. You could say firsthand, millions of views. We made $20,000. I watch, but don't buy it. Interesting. Conversion rate is super low. Okay. Yeah, I kind of appreciate what Donkey did with Undertale. So I think of Undertale as being kind of in the same boat, but not exactly. Like Undertale is also story driven. It's also got some comedy in it. It's also got gameplay mechanics that don't change over time. So there's always this kind of like uh, bullet shooter kind of dodging mechanic. And other than that, I wouldn't say any other mechanic is like super memorable. And that's not to be dismissing of the game. It's just when you think of Undertale, you think, okay, there's a lot of dialogue. There are some like jokes here and there, and yeah, the combat is the kind of main mechanic. There's the story-driven mechanic of like sparing things, but that's part of combat, really. So I like what Donkey did, which is show some of the memorable moments of it, but not the entire thing. And he did this too with Jazzpunk. I actually ended up buying Jazzpunk possibly because of his video. And I was actually disappointed by this because I think the first level of Jazzpunk was the best level. And then it was all downhill from there. Hey, Bums. Hey, Ben. I don't like them, but a content creator I watch exclusively plays them, even little short indie ones. I'd say a lot of them have multiple endings of some kind. Most never replay it and just YouTube the extra endings. Yeah, yeah. So I think the conclusion that I have from all of this is Stuck in a Broken Tutorial needs fun games that you can play. And I think this is something we've got to spend some time thinking about after vacation. Maybe we can spend some time today. Where is it? Yeah, this. Okay, I need to think about why people would buy the game for themselves if they watched someone else play it. It could be replayability. It could be exploring the depth of each subgame. This is something that my wife was talking about yesterday when she played, which is she's like, I don't think my wife has really played platformer games. She's not like a major gamer, although she loves Slay the Spire. And she loved Stardew Valley as well. But she was in this game, and I think just the idea of like, let me turn on sounds here. The idea of like jumping around, having some dexterity element, but no real high stakes, I think that was enticing to her. So she was having fun with this, and she's like, oh, I would actually do more of this. And then same thing, she got into the farming game. And let's skip. There we go. She got into this and she's like, oh yeah, I would want to like build up my farm a little bit. And I'm like, you might for the first game, but when you realize there's no point in doing any of this stuff, wouldn't you stop? So something we could do is we could make it matter. Like you have to grow crops to get, I don't know, like game points. I'd have to make this work for a story reason, but just bear with me for a second mechanically here at least. So if you every strawberry you harvest gives 1 GP, let's say, and every sub game has a max of 100 GP. So if you want, you can get 100 points for each game, but you don't have to, or maybe you do have to. This is something sort of like what Banjo-Kazooie did with music notes. Music notes. There were 100 per level. And new levels cost, well, they didn't really, but like new, I don't know, areas cost notes to unlock. It wasn't the levels exactly, but then the areas could lead to levels. So it is kind of the same. Anyway, so maybe the breakpoints were like, okay, the first level is, 40 notes. And then the second level is 120 notes. So it's like, okay, well, you could get 100 from the first level and then 20 from the second level or something. Or I'm kind of saying this weird. I guess it was second and third levels. We could do something like that. So now it's like, okay, well, you really had fun with the farming game. So yeah, get all 100 GP there. But someone else is like, this thing sucks. I'm going to go to a different game. And they get 100 GP in that one. Yeah, maybe we do something like that. Sub game is fun. People just play it even when there's no point. Yeah, there's a particular psychographic that I'm concerned with, which is the have to make progress kinds of people, because they're going to ignore pretty much every part of the game to just be like, okay, how do I get to the next world or the next level? And they're going to completely rob themselves of a fun experience, probably. Have I looked into Evil Land? I think I've played Evil Land for like 5 minutes. So I don't know very much about the game. I think the idea of a game that evolves is kind of similar, but it doesn't change gameplay from what I understand. It's always an action adventure game. It's possible to easily create variation between each run, even in the smallest ways. So it might be possible. One of the things that I like the idea of is having some depth. So the platformer, the only thing that we have these diamonds that you can collect. So you could try to get all the diamonds. And then there's this area off to the side that is the only like secret here. This is a pretty small game though. The farming game has a lot more like just mechanics behind it. So like you can plant seeds, you can dig up terrain, you can actually go into your house and dig up your house. You can then plant seeds in your house and then water those seeds. So like this is something that not every player might discover. And in fact, my wife did not last night. She didn't ever try this. When the bed said that you don't have enough energy or you haven't used enough energy, try using your shovel. She walked outside and tried using the shovel out here. So she actually never discovered that the shovel could do anything different. Who made the graphics? These are an asset pack that I bought on itch. The platformer game, the character is an asset pack that I bought. The world is a free asset pack. And yeah, and then where is it? This world, the background's a free asset pack. And inside the office is a paid asset pack. And then this character was made for Skeleseller. So I threw them in for now, but actually I think they're pretty fitting. So yeah, I think we got to spend some more time thinking about that stuff. Maybe we'll talk about it today some more. I had this idea of having to collect 100 game points, or not having to, being able to collect 100 game points in each game, and then requiring some number before being able to move on. This has intense story connotations, though, that would be difficult to work with. Take care, Pressel. Yeah, thank you very much. Hope you have a good time off too from having to watch me. I think adding some objectives to sub games actually works both ways. Gives depth to the player that may enjoy the sub game and allows you to have a reason to be invested. Yeah, but the problem, I think we would have to allow backtracking in that case. I don't want to allow backtracking. And there's, like I said, the story connotation of you're exploiting glitches in these games to get to different worlds. If there's backtracking, then that means that there has to be 2 glitches in each world. One to get you back and one to get you to the next place. Unless you go to some like intermediate world in between hub world that connects you to old games at will. Yeah. Hey, Maya. Affect something later on in the game. Well, again, anything. So yeah, anything that serves as even a soft requirement would necessarily, or I guess like necessitate backtracking. So as an example, in Banjo-Kazooie, I mentioned the notes thing. There are 100 notes per level. You can't just ignore these. It's impossible. You have to get some number of them to beat the game. So if you did ignore them, let's say you got only 5 in the first level, then you will have to go back to it and you'll have to replay again. And for Banjo-Kazooie, that wasn't a problem. There was a hub world. You could always go back to any individual level and go get whatever notes you missed. But let's say we did not let you go back. So now you play through level 1, you don't get enough of whatever you need. You have no way of going back. You'd have to like restart your game. They could be completely optional. Yeah, so if they're optional, I think that could be okay. Yeah. But then the question would be, well, where does a player stop? I do like this idea of having like 100% of the game. I'm going to do the objective in each game, even though the game isn't about that. I think that could work really well. Yeah, maybe that's what we end up with. technically allow you to travel between games. It'd be weird to linearly travel if there are 10 plus sub games. Well, at first it's linear, and then at later in the game you get the ability to backtrack, but it's only to be able to complete it for story reasons. But yeah, I think my general takeaway is I like the 100 GP idea and just having it be optional. At least the game would track your your bonus progress so that people could 100% the games. Yeah, I don't have to have backtracking. Well, okay, an ad's about to start. I'm going to take a quick break. And then when I come back, we'll just keep working through the sort of thing we've been doing. Is it jump time? Is it computer? Is it jump time? It's jump time. Close the game. Okay. So back to rider stuff for a bit because I want to get all these things done. So this is finished. Make 1 to 9 go to different tabs. 9 should go to the last tab. Yeah, this is there are a lot of key mapping things I just haven't set up that I want to set up. So if we type tab here, huh? Last tab? Select the last tab. Okay, so add keyboard shortcut. I want this to be Command 9. Does that do what I expect? Yes. But then how do we select all the other tabs? Last tab. It's under this one. Yes. Nice. Perfect. Okay. So we just set keyboard shortcuts for all of this. So 1, we're going to just remove every other shortcut here. 2, yep. Don't care. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done. Okay, now let's try that out. Let's go open up a bunch of tabs. Main, platformer, farming, farming cheats, some TSCN files. All right, and then let's do 7. All right, that was 7. So I need a couple more files open. Let's just click a couple of these. There we go. 8, 9. Nice. Also helpful, Alt arrow is next and previous tabs. I have next and previous tab buttons set up dedicated on my keyboard and on my mouse actually. So I use that. That's done. Make this wrap around, may need to record a macro. I don't understand why this is not an option in here, but let's say we're searching for audio system. I can search for the next instance and the next instance, and then this happens. It says audio system not found, press Command G to search from the top. So I can press Command G, but the problem is that I can't search for what's under the cursor and have it wrap around all in one. So you can apparently make a macro for that. I've never done this. Start macro recording. What would we even, how do you even do this? I don't know how you do this. Yeah, because I can't think of a set of shortcuts that would let me reliably go to the prior or the next instance of this. So as an example here, we have like word, word, word. And I want to find the next instance of this. Control left to start a word. What I'm saying is I want a shortcut that does the following. Finds the next instance of the word underneath the cursor. And if the next instance is before the current location, it finds that instance. And in VS Code, this is just automatic. So let's say I have word, word, word. And I press Control F3 here, or Command F3. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. And I can do Command Shift F3 to go in the opposite direction. In Rider, I can go forward, and then when I hit the end, I need to press Command G. So I need some way of detecting that I'm at the end, or I need to set what the find buffer is. I guess we could do that maybe. Maybe I just do, yeah, Command F, Escape, Command G. That'll work. Okay, yeah, so that's what we have to do. Command F, Escape, Command G. What, how does this, is it recording? Command F, Escape, Command G. Now I stop recording. Enter a name, find with wrap, find word under cursor with wrapping. This doesn't even technically work the way I wanted it to. And then how do you use macros? Playback, edit, play saved. So if I click this, yeah, it's not actually gonna work. Oh man. It didn't record the escape, I think. Man, fine. Yeah, this is bad. I want to delete that. Oh no, it did get escape. What? Play saved macros. It's not working correctly. Man, Rider, find. word at caret with wrapping. Man. Browse word at caret install. They have a plugin for this. Yeah, here it is. Allows to easily browse next previous word at caret and highlight other appearances. Huh. Hey, Cold Brew. My bot is not online right now, but the website is, so that will have to suffice for now. Sorry, it's not great. The functionality of this plugin is finally fully integrated in the IDE. Is it? I mean, I still think I'm going to try this out. All right, let's install this. So now Control Alt Up, it said. It's probably Command Control Up. No, how did it? Okay, I don't have a shortcut for that apparently. How do you find? I guess you find it through this. It comes from a plugin. Man, I don't know how to do this. Hey, Cardlefish. Are you going to leave your home country of Brazil and see other countries? I'm going to go to the US, yeah. Command W, then Command F. Command W would close the current buffer that I have. Oh, soft wrap. So I think maybe there's a misunderstanding of what I'm trying to do here. Because even with soft wrapping doesn't impact this. It's purely that in Rider, once you try searching for the word under the caret and it's the final one in the file, it's going to ask, do you want to wrap around using a different shortcut? I don't live in Brazil. No, this is a joke about how someone said I'm their favorite Brazilian streamer or something. And I said, I'm not Brazilian. Browse word at caret is what this is called. So browse. Yeah, it's this. What are the shortcuts called though? Browse. Oh, there it is. Browse to previous word. Okay, so does this work the way I want? Let's try it here. Browse to previous word. No, it does not. Do I have to select it first? No, it still doesn't do anything. What? Yeah, what? This plugin doesn't seem to actually work. Am I missing something here? Huh. Hey, Chili. I was thinking of the select current word, then find selection, but I use Nvim plugin, so it just wraps when doing the searches. Yeah, I guess that's maybe not bad. I could just enter the find menu for this. And then it works pretty much like how I expect. Although wrapping at the bottom does ask me to search again from the top. I wonder if we could just turn that off. What does this button do? I can't even read what that says. New line. I see. Yeah, maybe I bind it to that. No, I'd have to select the current word first. I have to do this and then select. And then press enter. Okay, so Command F. No. Select, Command F, enter. Yeah. All right, that could potentially work. Just do that for now. Didn't I delete this? No, I never did. Oh, you can just add actions in here? Interesting. Can we record for this macro now? There. That should do it. Now stop. Testeroni. Okay, so let's try that now. Oh no, this isn't going to be correct because now when I type, no, yeah, I don't want this. All right, I don't know. I don't want to. I'm going to go uninstall that. The extension that I had. Plugins. Called browse something. Yeah, this. Oops, not disable, uninstall. Huh. I'm kind of surprised no one else has complained about that, maybe? Hey, Chili. All right, take care, Cuddlefish. Thank you. And thanks for dropping by. Restart this to apply changes, sure. Whatever. I'll look at this for a little bit longer because this actually does bug me. I just want this behavior that I'm used to. Whoops. Where did that buffer go? Yeah. Maybe this is the perfect time to ask AI about this. So I use Rider, but I want functionality from VS Code for searching. In VS Code, I bound a shortcut to this, find next selection. Okay, what is it called in Rider? By the way, I struggled for a long time yesterday on a particular problem that I'd already come across before. I wrote a bunch of notes about it, but it took me so long to solve. Whoops. All right, let's go to this key map, find this next occurrence of word. You can't copy this, can you? No, so I got to type it out. Well, I don't have to type it out. This is why we have OCR, right? There we go. Problem with Rider or something else? It's not necessarily a problem. It's just not working the way I expect this to work. In VS Code, when running this on the final occurrence in a buffer, it will wrap around automatically. In Rider, though, you have to press Command G to have it search again with wrapping. I bind. Oh, this is selecting weirdly. I bind this to Command F3 and don't want to use two separate shortcuts for this. How would I achieve? Yeah, how about we just leave it at that? Oh no, sorry. Yeah, the issue. Yeah, so it was another physics interpolation thing, and I wrote this here. This has cost me an immense amount of time, so please read this note if you're having problems. I had in Godot a tween equals create tween, and then I did something that something doesn't matter, and then tween callback, and this would be, well, I mean, if I'm writing this out correctly, it'd be callable.from. This was something that was like create platformer game. And what would happen is it would pan the camera to like a different part of the screen for the platformer game. And I was like, okay, this is exactly why reset physics interpolation exists. But if you recall, this is the same problem I ran into the other day on stream. The solution had nothing to do with the platformer game or the camera. It had to do with the tween, where you have to do set process mode to be physics here. And then because the callback's going to run on the physics tick, it will properly reset physics interpolation. It just took me so long to come to this conclusion because there was a red herring and part of this where it doesn't matter. And then I tried making a minimal repro and I didn't realize that it was caused by a tween. So I did not put that in my repro and I could not repro this. It took me a very, very long time. The red herring, okay, so the red herring was this. There's a camera 2D property. So let's say I add a camera here that is anchor mode. And when I set this to fixed top left, there was no movement anymore. The reason being that when you set it to fixed top left at a position of 0, 0, the camera doesn't have to move anywhere. When you set it to drag center, the camera has to rearrange itself to now center on what would have been the middle of the screen. So I might have said that in a stupid way. But yeah, just by changing this, we obviated physics interpolation. So it wasn't a solution because I did not actually want to center on 0, 0. I wanted to center on the player. So yeah, that cost me a lot of time. So annoying that it hides everything. It's just difficult that you really got to be careful about where you, like what you're running everything on. When it comes to animation player, animation tree, your camera, tweens. It's like if you have physics interpolation on, what do you even want process for at that point? It's like very few things, like UI stuff probably. And that's about it. And I almost feel like physics interpolation should be turned on by default in Godot, but then they'd probably have to change the defaults for tweens and everything too. Anyway, did AI answer me here? Running with a long-standing rider intelligent behavior, add selection for next occurrence, and the related next occurrence of word or caret doesn't wrap by default. Unfortunately, there's no built-in setting to make riders next occurrence wrap. The two-step behavior is how the ID is designed. Bind that to a macro that does both actions. Run find next, move to next occurrence. Stop recording, save it. This wouldn't work though, because you can do both searches at once. Use add selection for next occurrence. Closer analog to VS Code's add selection to the next find match. It still doesn't wrap, but it's a multi-caret. Been requested for years. Oh my god. All right, let's go take a look at that. And then plugin route. There's no well-known plugin that patches this specific behavior. You could write a small custom action. All right, well, I could just have AI write a plugin for me, I guess. But I don't know if I want to do that. So let's go find this. IntelliJ. Where's their issue tracker? Here. Okay, so let's just click any issue. And it should change the URL such that now I can see this is what I want. Huh. I wonder if it hallucinated this number. It's not technically an idea, is it? I don't think so. Yeah, doesn't matter. So yeah, the question is how much do I want this functionality? Is it enough to have AI write a plugin for me? Go to project settings, enable advanced. Check physics, common physics interpolation. That's just the physics interpolation setting, right? I know what you're talking about. Here it is, yeah. Yeah, what I was saying is it would be nice if this automatically put tweens and animation player onto physics process mode. And they have some issue to do something like that, but they haven't done it yet. All right, well, I think this is annoying. Take care, Leap Your Girl. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good couple weeks too. Should I have it make this? You know what? I'll just write it down in AI tasks for later. I think it's nice to have a backlog of these for if I ever find myself with credits that I'm not using. Where is my section on AI tasks? Here. Okay, so have it make a rider plugin. they will get the Command F3 and Command G semantics that I want. All right, so next, change diff highlighting so the removed code is dark red instead of light gray. Yeah, how do we do that? How do you do that? Oops. Highlighting? Syntax highlighting? I don't know where you even set this up. Writer, how to change syntax highlight colors. Syntax highlighting, color schemes. Okay, so it's in color scheme language defaults. Color scheme. Language default. Okay, I gotta change it for diff and merge. Here we go. Deleted. Yeah, here we have it. What is click to customize? So if I change this color, let's copy what it is right now, just in case. Is this changing the right thing? No, it's not. How do I change? Copy this one. Nice. Okay. That's what I want. I want this to be red. Yeah. Now, what's currently red? Conflict. Let's highlight those in yellow, I guess. Or like, I don't know, just some other color. Wait, what did I just do? No, I messed that up. Whoops. You can't Command Z that. Okay. So that should be it, right? So let's save this and let's go take a look at any files that I have. Preferred project code style. I don't know why I added this. And do I want to check that in? What if I just delete this? Okay, now let's take a look at any file, I don't know, main.cs, and just delete a bunch of lines. Now we look at the diff. Oh, nice. Bright red, that's what I want. Yeah, I could not tell that this stuff was deleted before. We should probably tone down the red a little bit. Make sure it's actually legible. But otherwise, yeah, looking pretty good. So what would work? I guess slightly darker. Yeah, it's probably pretty good. Yeah, we need to marquee all the font. All right, done. Add hotkey to go to the next problem. I think I used F8 in VS Code. Did I? Yes, I did. So how do we do that over here? So let's say we had a bug in our code. So I want to be able to go to the next error or warning, I guess. Maybe just error. Key map, error. Next highlighted error. It's set to Alt F8 already. Previous highlighted error is Shift F8. I want it to just be F8. Add keyboard shortcut, F8. Save. Okay, let's try that. Oh, it's so good. Look at it go. Yeah, fantastic. All right, enable scrolling with acceleration like VS Code. I'm not sure what's jarring for me, but it's weird that it seems to scroll so slowly. Yeah, how does this work differently? So if I open this up in VS Code and I just scroll, yeah, it's going super fast. So I can go from the top to the bottom in literally one flick of my finger. I mean, sometimes I'm messing it up, but you can see that it's possible. And I'm going through 200 lines that way. Here, if I have that same file open and I scroll down, that brings me down to line 50. I scroll down again and I only got like another 5 lines. Again, and again. So it's like 9 actions to do that. Do you have any bot command to explain why you switched editors? Yeah, I do. It is this one, yrider. Why don't you put the mouse between the keyboard halves? There are a couple reasons why not. For one, the camera that I have is at a distance where this is the farthest apart I can get the keyboards. So if I put the mouse in the middle, I need to spread these even farther, and then you wouldn't be able to see me type. And the other reason was that I have these cords in the middle, so I need them like really far apart. And then I'm not sure it's best for. Well, actually, that is pretty comfortable. Yeah, so I just need to change where this camera is, and then I probably would do this. So I think that would be nice. I wonder how hard it would be to do that though, because right now it's resting on my monitor, and I don't have another camera stand. Like ideally, I take this camera here and I move it like up above the monitor, focused down maybe. I wonder if I could. I have my camera for my face up there. I could attach the webcam to that camera, but then anytime I move it, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, I don't know how else I'd do this. I need to buy another camera stand. All right, so how do we change scrolling behavior? Never thought I'd even want this. Smooth scrolling. What does that say? When using mouse wheel, the entire interface will scroll smoothly instead of line by line. Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to have like scrolling acceleration or something. Scroll offset. It's probably this. Maybe. Vertical scroll. Let's just set this to 5 and see what happens. I don't know. No, I don't know what that is. And vertical scroll offset. It's currently 1. No, neither of those does what I want it to do. Okay, rider change scroll amount. Scroll bar and related features, general. Yeah, what are these supposed to be? Vertical scroll. Offset number of lines above and below the caret. Offset number of lines above and below the caret when it jumps. I want to change when I use the scroll wheel. Idea inertial smooth scrolling unit increment. You can find the option in registry. Can I just search for inertia? What is the registry? Wow, I didn't know about this. Changing these values may cause unwanted behavior. Do not change these unless you've been asked to. How funny. Mouse built into it, so I can do most quick modes. Yeah. I have mouse keys set up. Although this is not the most ergonomic thing because you're using keys to mimic like a 2D grid of movements. So it's not bad. Like I can move windows around and stuff. I just don't generally like doing that. There's no search here. Inertia. Oh no, there is. All right, what do I want exactly? Smooth scrolling unit increment. They don't have that here. Smooth scrolling unit. Yeah, no, it's not there. Huh. Really? Mouse wheel delay? Other delay? Precision touchpad delay? These are all delays. Angle. Time? You gotta be kidding me. Options needs to be gone again. Was it renamed to something else? This option is gone. They removed it. Fast scrolling plugin. Allows you to scroll up and down faster in a big file by holding a configurable key. Yeah, I guess we'll try this. Fast scrolling. I can't just press git and have it installed in here. Maybe download would do that. But still, let's just do it this way, I guess. So marketplace fast scrolling. It's this one by Sven. All right, restart. Yeah, let's try this. This is all the little stuff that has bugged me. And if I go long enough without fixing this, I will get used to the new functionality. And then going back to VS Code will be harder. Not that I plan on migrating back to VS Code for good, but I do have it open and I still use it. And I'd like to have the semantics be pretty much identical between them when I can. So now what? Regular scrolling is the same speed and I hold down control. Yeah, this is what I want, but I want that to be the case pretty much all the time. No, not all the time, actually. Oh man, because can't I still scroll by one line over here? I can. Or not one line, but I guess 3 or 4 maybe. That's still fine. Hey server, isn't there a built-in option for smooth scrolling? There is, but smooth scrolling is just whether or not it goes by full lines. I want it to have more acceleration or inertia or something. So if I turn this off, I already had it on. Now I can only scroll by discrete lines. So if I want to show line 29.5, that's not possible. So that's all this setting is controlling. It still takes me a long time to go from the top to the bottom. Well, it's not super long. It's 3 flicks instead of 1. But yeah, I want it to be 1. In VS Code, I can go all the way to the bottom immediately. And if I go to an even larger file, maybe like town.cs. So here I'm at line 1. I scroll down once. No, I guess it's only going by like 300 or 400 at most. But yeah, still, like I used to that. Maybe I can just change the behavior over here. So smooth scrolling can be on. I want to go customize the fast scrolling behavior. Yeah, this. Step, maybe we set it to 5 and no hotkey. You can't have no hotkey. All right, well, then maybe let's just set it to 15 and stop thinking about it. Yeah, I guess worst case scenario, I could do this. To go by function. Yeah, I'm going to stop thinking about it. All right, next up, make this move by inner word. Yeah, this I definitely want to do. Yeah, I know what control end. I just, sometimes I have my hand on the mouse and I still want to go to something else. Move by inner word. What do they call this? I don't see it here. Is it this? Move caret to next word in different camel humps mode? I think it's this. So if I set this to control right and then remove the other thing, does that work? Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, so we got to do that. So we got to search for camel humps. Never thought I'd type that into a search box. All right, so we have move to next word, move to previous word, add, control left. Cool. Then move with selection. So that is control shift right. I'm going to move all those other things. Add control shift left, remove all those other things. And then delete to word end. Those I don't really care about. I don't mind just selecting it. So now I can do that. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, this is exactly what I had over here. Same shortcuts now. That's what I'm used to. Because a lot of times you copy paste a function, you're like, oh, I got to change key now to something else, some other thing. You don't want to change the entire word. So yeah, cool. All right, let's delete all that. Make sure I don't have any changes over here. Looking good. Like for diffs to open such that the left side only shows at 25% width instead of 50%. That way I can see more of the current code. Yeah, I still have not gotten this to work all that well. So here's my problem. I want this panel to be large enough on the right that I can see what I'm looking at. And then I open a diff from here, and now the diff is only taking up this much space. So it'd be nice if this just automatically closed itself. Can you do that? Not But yeah, so I close it manually, and then still I want this to be on the left most of the time. So I can set it once, but then when I close it and reopen it, it's back to the halfway point on the screen. And for whatever reason, I just can't. Maybe it's because the line numbers are in the middle. But over here, if I go do the same thing, so town.cs, let's say we just delete a line here, or like delete me. And then I go look at the diff for this. It just feels like I can see so much more. Maybe because soft wrapping is on? Yeah, that's probably why. I can turn on soft wrapping, but I think I want it to be on by default. Does it remember that? It does not. Okay, so we just need that to be the case. Rider enables soft wrapping for diff view. Hey, Rami. How you doing? Have you had some chance to rest? Diff viewer. Yeah, I want it to be on by default, but just in the diff view. Setting editor general soft wrap these files. Here we go. But this is not necessarily a file. I guess I have like star.diff here, but it's not. Yeah, this doesn't work. If I open up a diff file, it would probably work. Man. Man. Yeah, I don't know where you do that. All right, I'll just ask AI this. Is it possible to always enable soft wrapping, but only when diffing a file in Rider? I can enable it via my keyboard shortcut, but I have to do that for both the left and right sides of the diff, and I have to do it every time I reopen the diff view. Got back late last night from a work trip abroad. Just fun. Oh yeah, you went to Berlin, right? Fun but tiring. I think that's at least like a success. Yeah, yes, sir. Okay. It's configurable. It's slightly buried. Go to Preferences Editor, General Soft Wraps. There's a field labeled Soft Wrap these files. Yeah, I found that. Takes a semicolon separated list of file masks. Below it or nearby, there are checkboxes for enabling it in specific context. Enable in diff viewer. I didn't see that. Yeah, I don't see that. Huh. If you don't see it, alternatives, open a diff. Use the gear settings in the diff and then soft wrap long lines. Okay, yeah, let's try that. So I click this, I click the gear, soft wrap. No, all this is doing is toggling what the keyboard shortcut would have done. And then I close it and reopen it. It's not soft wrapped anymore, right? It is now. Wait a second, what? I just did this, right? Okay, well, that seems like it's working. So I guess. Yeah, all right, seems like it's working. 'Tis the season of traveling. Yeah, summertime, I think a lot of people travel. I wonder, busiest time of year for plane travel. Or busiest like months, I guess. Yeah, because they say the holidays here. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Day, summer vacation. Yeah. Spring break, Easter, Memorial Day. Yeah. Hey, Kong Con. Or Kong Kong, I guess. 39. Welcome in. Okay, well, this seemed like it was fine. Next up, source files are missing. End of file. Check the cleanup settings. They can't be missing end of file. They could be missing the new line at the end of the file. Cleanup settings. What am I building? I'm working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I mean, right now I'm just configuring Rider. But the game itself, I have a small FAQ here. Had a pretty surreal trip. It was a first on many levels for me. I think it was once in a lifetime. Did you do a lot of hiking? Hey, Scholar. It's Scholar entrance time. Nice to see you. Source files are missing. Let's check the cleanup settings in here. Let's go take a look. Clean up. Maybe reformat code. Is there a put a new line at the end? Rearrange, update. I don't know. Where do you do this? Yeah, I don't know where you do this. It's probably in here though. Line breaks and wrapping. Yeah, there's probably some like new line at the end of the file. I'm not going to find this. Writer, add new line at end of file. Do I even care? I don't think I care about this really, but I think Dark does. On save, new line added. How to stop this. What do we do in VS Code for this? Let me go take a look. Temp, we'll just call this testeroni.txt. I just type test and hit save. Yeah, it adds a new line. I don't mind this. I don't particularly care one way or the other. So yeah, let's go try to find out how we can do this. How to make it insert a new line at every end of file. General, ensure saved file ends with a line break. Okay. Line break. In general somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Save. Okay, so now every file I save is going to end up with a new line. So if I go to this and go to the bottom and just press save. That didn't work. Oh, maybe it's ending with a new line on... No, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, what? What? Sure, every saved file ends with a line break. Huh, maybe I need to restart. Let's try it. Kind of doubt it, though. Had an alumni from our school fly me and 5 other classmates private, which is wild. Really? Wow. Yeah, it sounds like quite the trip. It's open code day. Finally get to use it again after waiting all month. Your quota ran out? Thanks, Scholar. You didn't modify it to trigger a save? Oh, so it doesn't even count as saving it unless I make a change. Okay. In VS Code, that's not how that works. So if I have a file... Whoops. I mean, I know it doesn't matter how it works in VS Code, but I want to at least show that I'm not crazy here. So if I echo like hi to testeroni.txt, file exists. Not anymore. Okay, so now we open this up. Oh, it already opened with the new line. Okay, well, I don't know. There's some way to not have that happen. Yeah, so let's go try this again. So I can't just press save. I need to type something like hi and then save, and there it goes. Yeah, nice. All right, sure, that's fine. Let's also cut this out. I don't want to actually save any of these changes. All right, make this go to next and previous diffs in the diff viewer. I shouldn't have built all these things up for so long. Oh, wait, this is already set to something, isn't it? Test, open, hover over this. No, it's not set to anything. Previous is set to Shift F7. That's all I need to be able to figure out what this is even supposed to be called. Previous difference. Okay, got it. So previous difference, I want to have just be control up. but only in this context, is currently tile top half. I don't think I ever care about that. So there we go, remove that. And then the next difference, we set this to control down, which is probably tile bottom half, sure. Remove, okay, great. So now I can go between diffs, right? Nice, nice. Oh, wow, I see. And which plan are you on? Is it the like a cheapo one? Says you my first and last experience. Yeah, Halo's faded. Yeah, it was because the file hadn't changed. I just didn't expect that. All right, stop this from getting auto added when I type a function name. I don't actually know what I expect anymore now. So if I do tween2 equals create tween, and I just press enter here, it adds parentheses. I think I don't want that. Writer, stop automatically adding parentheses. Stop it from adding these as you type. Automatically insert parentheses. Automatically insert parentheses. Here it is. Both opening and closing. None. And they have curly braces. They might just count it in there. So now if I type that same thing, var tween2 equals create tween, then I type the parentheses. I'm in control. So what happens if I already had a paren and I type it right? Yeah, that's fine. Now if I type curly braces, that's fine. If I type if true, that's fine. And there's one other thing that I potentially want. Tween callback. No, maybe just like some event and some function call. So I change it to this. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, yeah, I think it's all fine. Not sure. It's through work. Quota's $50 a month. Boss has since turned off access to 5.4 Pro. For the team there. Yeah. I think it's been helpful to come up with what I think are good AI tasks so that I don't just look through my whole list and start assigning random things. Like make the credit screen. This is something that, again, we probably want to have it look nice at some point, but I'd like to have a credit screen in the game, and I don't want to be the thing holding this up. And there are refactorings and everything too. I'm very impressed by just even what like a $20 a month plan can do in terms of productivity. And like I said, all the cheats that I have in the game now are going to save me like seconds every single time that I want to play the game, which is many times per day. And also just a certain amount of frustration, a lack of context switching I now have to do. It's going to be great. Came up with such a minimal solution. I'm impressed. This is, wait, let me read this again. This is Open Code Go, right? Oh, no, it's not necessarily Go. I think you said you were on the Zen plan, right? Open Code Zen. Or I don't know what this means. Yeah, Zen. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking of... I read an article on Hacker News today about maladaptive frugality. And it really resonated with me. In short, this person was talking about, I think, like fixing their iPhone or something. And they just kind of wondered why they hadn't done it sooner. And there was the cost component of it. And the general takeaway was, like, it's not that frugality is bad. It's that you should make sure it's fitting of the circumstances in your environment at the time. And as an example of my life, like I bought a new Windows machine from Costco maybe like a year ago at this point. And I got like a middle of the road one. Because I do only use the computer now for gaming. And I don't play like super intense games. But looking back, I think this might have been a little bit of a mistake. I probably should have gotten a slightly better computer because like I'm not going to upgrade it now for many years. And yeah, I have to play games on certain settings. Like it'll never be any faster. And I wonder if it was worth being frugal for that. I think also I kind of have this mentality when it comes to business stuff where my kind of default mode is penny pinching. And I think there are ways in which this is good. Necessity is the mother of invention. So if you're working with small resources or I don't know, a small team even, then you'll approach things in a different way. You might overcome certain problems with ingenuity rather than resources. But when it came to like AI, it's like $20 a month is not a crazy expenditure for a business. And yeah, I think it's already like more than paid off. What do maladaptive and frugality mean? So maladaptive is just like not fitting for the circumstances. And frugality is valuing not spending money or resources. So yeah, you'd say someone is frugal if they bought, you know, a 10-cent piece of candy instead of like the $5 decadent piece of candy. I don't know. Or just avoided spending it all. Built a PC a couple years back. At the time, I was going for a pretty cheap setup. Now that I want to upgrade, turns out going for the cheap option limits my opportunity to upgrade immensely. Yeah, and also just for the last 2 years, it's like you could have benefited from that nicer computer. And I am generally very frugal by nature, I would say. So I bought Renoise recently. That was about $100. I kind of regret that because I didn't end up using it a whole lot. It's the tracker app that I was using for music. And I bought FL Studio and I've been using that a ton and I love it. I think it's great. Like the other purchase I kind of regret a little bit is I got a Nintendo Switch 2. And I think this has been a journey for me. I've talked about this a lot on stream about how like the I hate games maybe rant that I talk about where it's like I just don't get the same enjoyment I get out of as many games. And almost every Nintendo console in the past has kind of paid for itself at some point for me. So for example, on the GameCube, I played so much Super Smash Bros. Melee that alone made the entire system purchase worth it. And people probably have a lot of those sorts of games. Like if you've played Factorio for 2,000 hours, that paid for your whole computer pretty much. Like you got enough use out of that game where it was worthwhile. But with the Switch 2, I bought DK Bonanza and God, what else? Did I buy any other games? I don't even know if I bought any other games. Oh, and it came with Mario Kart. That's right. I didn't want Mario Kart though. So I didn't play that a whole lot, but I didn't really care because that's the only way I could get the system. Yeah, DK Bonanza I did not play very much, and I haven't really touched the Switch 2 in months now. Ever played Brawlhalla? I haven't been looking for a Melee replacement or a Smash replacement. Smash Ultimate I think would probably still be fun, but even that I stopped playing. But no, I don't think I played Brawlhalla. Well, I have a Steam Deck as well, and up until Slay the Spire 2 came out, it hardly got any use. And then Slay the Spire 2 came out, and my wife is playing it constantly now. How do you feel about decaf coffee? I don't have any coffee, so yeah, my own personal take is I don't have it, but I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world, or I don't know. Is there a particular opinion you're looking for on it? It's still so new. Yeah, so that's the one saving grace is that eventually a Zelda game will come out. I will probably like the Zelda game. Eventually a Smash game might come out. I will probably like the Smash game. And eventually a new like Mario platformer will probably come out. But yeah, I'll probably buy like 5 games for it and hope I get some value out of it. What did that camera smoothing reset bug end up being? I must know. It came down to animation player, animation tree, and tweens all having a process mode and needing for them to be set to physics instead of idle. I'll actually show this. Well, maybe it's not that easy to show. But yeah, it was just that. So my fix, if you look here, is set process mode. Like this was causing an error. By not having this highlighted bit here, I would call in a callback, create platformer. And then create platformer would eventually get to this code, which is right here. Get a camera and then try to position it at the player. Doesn't matter that you call reset physics interpolation here. The problem is this was not happening during a physics tick. So it would set a position so that for the next physics tick, it had to get interpolated and then would do interpolation. And I'm like, why is this happening? I'm calling the one function that's supposed to stop this. And it turned out in a file nowhere near this, I just happened to call it in a callback on the wrong process mode. So yeah, that took me a long time to figure out. Hey, burnt out. Nice hair. Thanks. Is it any different from normal? We only have a remake of Ocarina of Time, not a remaster. All rumors. I have fond memories of Ocarina of Time. Every time I played it after it came out, I did not enjoy it very much. I just, yeah. So I would probably check out the remaster or remake, whatever it is. But I don't know if I'd have fun exactly. All right, so we just have 3 more bullet points. I'm going to take another quick break, and then we'll come back and do this. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, hello again. Welcome in, everyone. Hey, Void. Hey, Nat. Hey, TV Twitch. And Vacillate. Close the game. All right, so figure out how to force trailing commas on enumerations in dictionaries. Makes it easier to figure out to add entries. Okay, so writer, force trailing commas. Can I have it add this in force preferences? You can change corresponding preference. Editor, code style, C#, trailing comma. Okay, yeah, sounds easy. Trailing comma in C#. Trailing commas before a new line in multi-line lists. What is that checkbox for? What does this column even mean? What am I supposed to be able to? What is this check mark? Oh, I see. Okay, interesting. Yeah, sure. Do them in both, I guess. So now if I go to my enumerations, like sound ID, and I just save this file, test. Nice. Okay, and then what about dictionaries? Because that was the other thing that I wanted to do before. All sound data, for example. So I scroll down to here. All right, I can scroll now. Wait, what? Why is it scrolling so slowly? Fast scrolling. It's set to 15. What, I need to set it like 50? I think that's faster, but it's not very fast. 500? What? What's going on right now? What is going on? Huh. Yeah, weird. I don't know why. It seems like fast scrolling just doesn't work anymore. What if I set it to Alt? Need to reopen? Okay, I'm not doing this. Just cancel. Anyway, what was I doing? So I want to see if I do something like test. Yeah, perfect. All right, nice. There are two more of these. Figure out how to keep named parameters. Named param. Qualify name, built-in types, named expressions. Positional argument, named arguments. I think this is it, but I want it to allow me to use it, not require it. Let's just set it to named argument and see what happens. So here, for example, if I just save now, it changed this stuff. No, there's an AI command. It's just my bot is not working right now. So you'll have to type it in the website. Here it is. And hey, Skogel. So what did this do? It added in volume slider ID, but it did not add in min pitch. Why not? It's deleting it, in fact. It doesn't delete this one. It re-adds this one. What? I want it for anything that's optional because the name is the same as a parameter. It's not, though. It. Oh, this. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The parameter name is the same as the type. Yeah, maybe that's it. I mean, what if I just change this to volume 2? Does that change this at all? No, it's not that it's the same name. Because if I change it to add a 2 at the end, it still does it. Maybe they have a bug. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. But this isn't what I want anyway. What I want is when there's a default parameter, I want the name to be specified. That way, if there's a change in the API, that it'll detect an error here. But it is not whatever I did here, which I don't even know where that is anymore. Here it is. Positional argument. Yeah, I'm not sure. Skip literal values. Oh, interesting. Okay, I understand what this is doing now. All right, I just want something that had a default. I don't know if you can customize that. What is other anyway? Hmm. Hmm. Skip single arguments. What does this do? All right, that kind of does what I want. I see what it was doing too, by the way. I understand now. Where'd that go? Your arguments. Where is this? It's like halfway down the page. Yeah, so I had changed it for named expressions, variables, properties, methods. I don't want this to modify every single thing in the game though, right? Like if I just go into main and I go save that. Also, do I have virtual space off in the middle of nowhere? No. Like how much does this go modify? Duration gets put in here. Adds the actual text in the file instead of the fuzzy one. Adds the actual text into the file instead of the fuzzy one. The fuzzy one being those like this thing? Are you calling this fuzzy where it just says property colon? Because yeah, it's pretty much what I want is whenever there would have been a default. And I don't know if we can customize that. Rider named parameter only when default exists. This is something I'll probably just ask an AI about. Yeah, let's go do that. Okay, so I have a struct like this in C#. In what happened there? In Rider, when making an instance of this, yeah, I do something like this, res slash whatever foo.wave. Okay. I do something like this. Rider, I want Rider to require the name of the parameter only when a default is specified for it. Bypass rate limiting. Is there a set of options that will let me do this? It's called add argument name to improve readability, and it's configurable per parameter. Yeah, I have this on, but I only want it when there's default. Optional arguments and default. The setting you actually want lives under editor, code style, C# syntax, reference qualification, and naming. What? Reference qualification. Oh, hey. All right, and what do I want from this? Scroll down to the section named and positional arguments. Is that there? Positional. No, I don't see this. Oh man, so much of this to search through. Hey TJ. Yeah, it's in here somewhere. I mean, the referential stuff. Whoop. Optional arguments. Is this in here at all? No, it's not. I know this is C and C++. I just want to see if there was something for it there. Yeah, I don't see this here. Labeled arguments rather than named or positional arguments. And the drop down is named, positional, named, or positional. Okay, I mean, I saw that. Named arguments. It was this. Is there any other section for this? The only choices I have for this, though, is positional or named. I just want it when there's a default value. I don't think I can do this, but maybe I could just turn it off. Skip single arguments. Maybe just do that. And then I can just specify it however I want, right? So now if we revert this file, revert everything actually, and then I make a change and I hit save, nothing happens. But if I change this to be min pitch and then save, no, it deletes it. Why is this happening? Hey Julian, what am I working on today? Well, it's a last day before vacation, so I'm kind of taking it easy and tackling some random things for my to-do list because I have a lot of other stuff to do today. I haven't even started packing. But in general, yeah, my today command is over here. The bot's not working right now, so I've got to paste it in like that. And what I'm trying to figure out right now is how do I allow Rider to let me type in something like this. When I save it, it just deletes it though. So what would happen is, let's say I go and add in another float over here. So I change this to like, I don't know, pitch, whatever, something like that. Now we have just recontextualized what these arguments are referring to. So now it's pitch and min pitch instead of min and max. And yeah, there's got to be some way to turn this off, right? The ignore single is a single parameter function. So it's not what I want. The thing is, I can't have it just not change anything. I want to just turn all this stuff off. There's do not show, there's hint. Maybe hint is what I want then. Hint, hint, hint. Or maybe suggestion even. Does that work? So now I save this, nothing happens. I type this out. It deletes it. Because hint means redundant name identifier. Redundant argument names. Oh. I don't know if it is this that I'm even controlling. If I change these to errors, does it do anything different? Because I think this is actually coming from some linting rule. No, it is. Okay. Yeah. So can I just turn them into suggestions and ignore them? No, I have to do it the other way around. I have to set these to named in all cases and have those be suggestions, I guess. But it automatically acts on them. Look at this. Oh, man. What do you call a group of programmers? What do you call a group of programmers? Do you have a formatter that is just automatically removing the redundant code? Yeah, I do. And I thought it was something that was coming from the IDE itself, but it might be from my solution file or my project file in assembly. Yeah, it's probably this, the .NET analyzers. But I was using this even in ScalaCeller. Editor config, I think, changes it. List of programming. So I don't know I don't know what to do now. I think I turn it off from, yeah, so I think we just ignore this. Where did that go? Here, named argument. We just turn this off. Do not show, do not show. And leave these as whatever they should be. Because apparently none of this matters. And then change this. It doesn't. I don't know. I'm kind of sick of this. It just seems like this is a waste of time. Unless I can finally configure this at some point. Where I set this to hint, for example. No, it's not hint. String literal. It's not string literal. I just want literal value. Let's just set it to error. There. Okay, now we turn this off. Use preferred argument style. So disable forever all over the place. Disable all inspections in file. Oh, neat. You could just do this right here. That's pretty cool. But I don't know how to change this forever all over the place. It's like I just want to ignore this one thing. Configure this maybe. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna give up on this. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like that if I change this somewhere, it's gonna just totally break. It's also kind of weird that it's not getting rid of this thing. How does that make sense? Is it because I have these in the same order? I think that's a reason. I think if I specified volume here, it would allow me to keep that. Yeah. All right. That's stupid. That's really stupid. That's really, really stupid. All right, let's come back to this one. This still just rubs me the wrong way. All right, see if we can lay out files in a way that doesn't change how we write them, but always puts stuff in the same place. Yeah, I don't care about this anymore. So I guess we're just down to this one problem. Hey, Mr. D-Boy, how you doing? Have you gotten used to the hair situation? Has chat asked you to do any other ridiculous things? How's the game going? The game's going pretty well. I was just mentioning that playtests have started, but they're private. And last night was the playtest with my wife. She played for 15 minutes. She loved it. And then today is a playtest with a friend. That's actually probably happening in like maybe 2 to 3 more hours. And yeah, I want to just get an idea of like, are people enjoying the general direction of the game? People are still dunking on me. But how do you feel? I don't want to spend more time configuring this. Do I have something different in my editor config over here? You know what? Probably. But there's so many things here that I don't know if I'm ever going to find it. Yeah, I don't. Prefer simple default expression. What is that? What is this? Concerns using default literal for default value expressions, and the compiler can infer the type of the expression. Oh, the default literal is not what I'm referring to over here. I don't care. Okay. Explains why this happened in the first place. Man, I don't know. I guess alternatively we could have this be everywhere. If I do set this to just named argument all over the place, first of all, I'll add names to everything. So now if I save this file, yeah, we got names all over the place. But even for this, and probably even for like regular function calls, right? Yeah, I don't want that. I like very much don't want that. under parameter name hints. Is that something that I have over here? Hide if intention of first parameter is clear from method name. Parameter arrays. I don't know. I don't know. It's so strange to me. And this gave me something here, but it doesn't actually seem to exist. I don't know if it's worth still asking about this some more. Can you give me the dot editor lines to make this a reality? Yeah, I think this is I think this is just changing exactly the stuff I'd already found before. However, there is a true here, which makes me think that maybe there's some other thing in the dropdown, or not in the dropdown, but another thing that I could change that isn't visible. Where is this? Here. Yeah. So somewhere here is supposed to be the arguments thing. Oh man. So sick of this. Syntax style. Here it is. Yeah. So we only have two things in the dropdown, positional and named. Can we set this to just false? And I want to try that. So yeah, let's go take one of these, literal, for example, star.cs. Yeah, let's copy that too. I then never want to figure this out again. So I'm going to need to write this down or something. So if we go to editor config and paste this in over here. So we have arguments literal. I want to set this to false. Well, that answers that question. Oh no. There's this named positional. Oh, there's unset. Oh, well. Maybe we can set it to unset. So for a literal, that would be something like this, volume 0.6. So if we delete this and save, it got filled in for me. But that's because I went and configured all these things, right? No. They're set to do not show. Why did that happen? Is it because of this line? Why I just comment that out and comment this out? Does that cause something to happen here? It gets added in again. I actually want it to be added in. I don't want it to be added in for this, though. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, this has been an exercise in futility. I will try this again. And then we probably need to give up on this. Yeah, it's just deleting it. Okay. I don't know. I don't think you can do this. It's so strange to me, though, that this is the case. Did I have... I didn't have this working weirdly for Skeleton, right? Like if I delete volume from here, it doesn't do anything to my code. And if I change this to I don't know, let's just figure out what the first parameter is. Is UI sound? Yeah, if we just set this to true. Yeah, it just basically didn't tell me anything either way. Which is what I want. I want it to just shut up. On save behavior set up to clean up. I just don't want it to do anything in this particular case. I don't know how to turn all this stuff off. Can I just turn these off completely so that whatever code I write is left as is? It seems like it either forces the addition or removal of the parameter name. Set them all to do not change, leave as is. The only other setting that I have is unset. So I could set them all to unset, I suppose. And then there's one other one here. Resharper, arguments, anonymous function. I think unset is the same as just picking what the default is, though. And what else do we have here? Skip single. I don't really care about that. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's it. That should be it. I want to look this up though. Writer, editor, config. What does unset do? Remove the effect of that property even if it's been set before. Undefine it. It's acceptable and often preferred to leave certain editor config properties unspecified. So now, does it take effect immediately? Oh, it's deleting it. It's still deleting stuff. I think because it's resorting to using named instead of positional. If I set this back to positional and I go change this, it's going to add in min pitch. No, it doesn't. It's still deleting it. Maybe you need to do something to make this take effect. I don't know. I'll try restarting. I'm not super hopeful that I'm ever going to get a solution to this. And a lot of times this looks like it's just style. This is not just style. This is if I change a function, I don't want it to recontextualize every argument I ever passed in. No, I don't think editor config is having any effect. I think you need to set code cleanup, code style to not touch arguments. Yeah, I probably just delete all of this. But I wanted to touch arguments in other cases, just not this one, I guess. Code cleanup. Reformat code. Yeah, there's just reformat code. I don't have any other choices here, do I? No, nothing else is even checked. The on save is doing the cleanup. It is defined under style. Yeah. Yeah, but how do I stop it from changing something? That's the part I can't get. We have this here. If I could turn this off completely, that'd be great. But there's seemingly no way to do that. Writer turn off. Like code style completely. Quickly disable by clearing the corresponding checkbox. There's no other thing that I have here that I didn't realize right now. There's it. I don't know. I don't know. These other ones have a do not enforce. This one doesn't have that setting. Julian, where are you getting these from? I don't know how to stop this. Okay, well, let's just give this up. Are you on the programming humor subreddit? Programmer humor. Man, I don't know what to do about this. Maybe I should write down in my writer notes that I just couldn't figure this out. Preventing writer from deleting parameter names. This is so silly. All right, let's go write this stuff down. Do I have all that stuff set to positional still? I do, yeah. All right, so let's go. Let's say we have sound data here. And have something like this. So suppose you have a struct like this. Yeah. You would instantiate it like this. All sound data. There we go. So this is going to be like var this. We just say some path. Okay. So, let's see, yes. In this case, it's not obvious. Well, it is obvious. The 0.6f represents min pitch, but if you ever added another float parameter after volume slider ID, it could be ambiguous and nothing would flag that you've recontextualized your arguments. As a result, I like to write the instantiation this way. Add min pitch label. However, Rider just deletes. Rider doesn't have a setting to outright ignore those labels. It will either delete them or add them based on certain situations, not ignore them. And the certain situation is in here. You can't copy these though. So it's, those settings are syntax style arguments. Yeah. Yeah. And there's also the resharper these things, which I couldn't get these working. They're all in resharper though. This note only exists to say that I spent a moderately long time looking into this, but did not end up with a solution. I think the next best thing would be to have it put parameter names for every single argument you pass in, but it just looks ridiculous. And if you ever do change an argument that did not have default parameters, I don't know if I just said the right thing. If you change a function that didn't have default parameters to begin with, then now you're going to break every single caller. Would encourage to change method parameters constructor here with some of the refactor tools. Then it would change it correctly. Oh, that's at least a decent workaround for my problem, which is if sound data were to add another float, I would need to refactor this. change signature, transform parameters. I want to add a parameter. What other refactor tools do we have here? Am I missing something here? I don't see an add a parameter. I see change signature, which I would expect to, oh wait, no, there's a plus right there. Oh, nice, okay. So I new name, return type, parameters. Okay, so let's hit plus and we'll make a float and call this testaroni and explicitly put it above these and make it optional. And now choose value of parameter to be used to correct calls of sound data. Use the following value. 79. Yeah, good. All sound data. Okay, interesting. All right, that's good. Oh man, I don't like any of this. So let's go write it down. However, I do have a workaround. It's to use refactoring tools to change the struct's definition in this case. Go to sound data. Go to, why didn't change signature? Oh, weird. Oh, maybe I just didn't see the plus button the first time around because this is the same way of getting to that. Or I click transform. That's why. I didn't realize this was an option. I thought it was just like a folder for this. You can click the left side of this, change signature. So yeah, you can just run the change signature action. Go to sound data, run the change signature action, add in a new parameter. What theme? It is this. Sorry, my bot's not working right now, so I have to type in commands for people. Oh, right. I forgot. The bot's not working, so gift won't work. Okay, let me write that down. After fixing this, grant a points to ABC for helping with the workaround. How silly of me. All right, so what is it? Shift F6? Command Shift F6? Command F6? There, Command F6. All right, so we added a new parameter. Yeah, slide it up to the top. I just want to get the name of that other action that I did. T2 optional. Next. All right, so then yeah, when it says choose value, if adding an optional parameter, it'll follow up with a dialog to choose the value. When it says use 0, it's just going to put in 0 there, right? Yeah, it will. Okay. You can choose use 0 or a custom value. That's a default for float, at least, or custom value. And it'll put, yeah. Okay, great. So these are things that I'm so torn about because the same thing happens with structured notes. Like this, for example, this note is online, although not in its current form. But if you go search for, whoops, I don't even know what I just did. If you go search for rider over here. So let's say I want to link someone this note. So I find this one and I click the little link button and I share the link. And look at that. Files of certain types don't show in the field. Okay, so files of certain types don't show in the find and file dialog, whatever. If I rename this header, it'll break that link for everybody. I can't do anything about the external link being broken for people unless I wanted to use the same URL. But for internal links, there's actually a way to like refactor your heading in here. You can say rename. And by renaming it through this, it's going to update every link that you have within your own notes. So it's like once you hit a certain level of complexity, you need to now manage things through tooling rather than through just like, oh, just change this to hi or something. Because there, I just broke everything now. And I might not even know it. Same thing down here. You might be like, oh, I'll just type this in, right? Float some new param equals 2. And that's it. Now your code doesn't work. Now, granted, this is also a reason why you just have automated tests for all this stuff. So it would find out that your code doesn't work because you're reinterpreting a parameter. This is Obsidian that I was using. All right, so we're done with that. Oh, boy. All right, what time is it? 11? Honestly, I should probably just get going. I know this is not a very entertaining stream. Yeah. So mostly spent the day configuring Rider. I should write this down for post-vacation. Where do I have this anywhere? I have this post-vacation stuff here. So how about that? Let's write this. I don't know what day I'm back though. So I'm just gonna write post-vacation journal, of course. But remember that I made a bunch of Rider changes to make the editor more like VS Code. So just use it the way I expect. And update the roadmap. It's the last day before vacation, and I didn't want to start a bunch of new work. Did I make a change to the game today? I don't remember. No, that's from yesterday. Okay. Well, I think that's probably it, right? Yeah, maybe I'll spend some time trying to figure this out today. I don't think it's gonna be fun. And I gotta like pack and everything. All right, well, thank you everyone for watching. I'll be back on, where's the date? I said I might stream on the 14th, but I should be back maybe the 15th. Then again, maybe things go poorly somehow and I'm not back until that Monday. But anyway, it'll be mid-May before I come back. And then we should get back into a regular streaming schedule. The main goals at that point are going to be to stabilize. So we've been working on this demo for a while. It is not totally done yet. There are some ways I cut corners. And yeah, I want to make sure that we're just like kind of good to push forward with some of these things. I'll probably still do some music streams. I don't know. All right, let me go find someone to raid. All right, let's go raid this person. I'm not sure if I've actually seen their stream, but I think they raided me before. And they just started. So let's send them some viewers. Yeah. All right. Thanks again, everybody. I'll see you next time. Sorry for the boring stream. Take care, though. See ya.